Hey guys, my name is Nick and welcome to my channel. The Rhythm Section is a film starring Blake Lively as a woman haunted by the plane crash that took out her entire family. So she ends up on a journey of revenge against those that orchestrated the plane crash. Now don't let anyone tell you that this is an action thriller, because this movie is nowhere near thrilling. Everything is in the trailer, so just imagine that trailer stretched out to 2 hours. It was an abysmal experience. Every scene seems to have an extra 30 seconds tacked onto it, with our main character just reacting to something that's not that interesting, even when that thing just happens to be murder. Now, I'm a big fan of Blake Lively. I really enjoy her. I think she's solid, and she's not in a whole bunch of stuff, so when she pops up, she pops. No one wanted an action thriller starring Blake Lively more than me, but this character she plays is such a joke. The motivation for her character just feels so off to me. Like, the first 5 minutes of the movie is just flashbacks to Blake Lively's character with her family all happy, and then present-day Blake Lively sat on the ground. And I understand the idea of show don't tell, but this is over-showing it. Because all of a sudden, when we pick up with this character, she's just a heroin-addicted sex worker, and we have no clue who this real person is. Until some rando shows up and is like, hey, guess what? Your family was actually killed in a terrorist attack. It wasn't an accident. And then she's like, what? It never makes sense to me why her character is put on the path to make this entire film work. I don't really understand why she has this fury, like she needs revenge. I get that she's sad, but it kind of looks like she needs to turn to therapy and not international terrorism. The story here just does not connect with me even a little bit. And the screenplay was written by the author of the book that this movie is based on, which to me is usually a good sign. I feel like that shows that they have someone who has a real handle of this story. But sometimes when adapting, you need to get someone who knows how to transfer something to a different medium. And this just doesn't work for me. It went from laughably bad to then just so bad it was putting me to sleep. Seriously, there was nothing going on in this movie. I started micro-meditating. I would be like, oh, it seems like a scene is about to end, but I'm sure it's gonna go on for another minute. I'm just gonna... So this is how our main character becomes involved in the actual plot of the film. She pretty much gets mugged by Jude Law, but he happens to be a spy, and so she convinces him to train her to be a badass, even though he isn't actually working with a real agency. But he also just so happens to be going after the same guys that Blake Lively's character is after. This whole movie is just like, okay... I can't even. So after months of training, Blake Lively's character is still garbage at everything until she learns how to fire a gun one time, and then Jude Law's like, I think you're ready for espionage. But this still just doesn't make sense to me at all, because they're not going through some sort of agency or whatever. So then Blake Lively's character has to find someone else to, like, go fund her murder spree. It just feels to me like this whole story is trying to be like a spy thriller without actually being a spy thriller. Like it wants to make you feel like, oh, any person could end up involved in this kind of situation if they go way the fuck out of their way, like across oceans, to get to that situation. And none of it gels for me at all. Like, the action in this movie, it is made to make you feel like you're the amateur thrust into this deadly situation. But there's like 2 exciting scenes in the whole movie. You'd think if that was going to be your entire premise, maybe you'd add a little bit more action to it. Like, the cool car chase in the film doesn't happen until an hour into the movie, and I think the only reason I was into it at the time was that I was like woken up by it. I was like, oh, something is happening in this movie. Fooled me. Looking back on it, I'm just like, that was just trying to be the cool car chase from Children of Men. And there's also a cool fight towards the end of the movie, but then I realized this is the end of the movie, and it was really only interesting because for a moment we got to see Blake Lively kick ass, which I thought this whole movie was gonna be about, but they got me. They really got me. Reed Morano directed this film, and I understand that her goal was to make this feel very realistic and gritty, but everything is so prolonged and then dragged out that all of the tension and energy is sucked out of the film. It just feels so boring. This is the most boring movie I've seen since Cats. And I'm all for a bad movie. There are plenty of plot developments within this film that put it towards bad movie territory, but it didn't have enough style or fun or entertainment value in order to make me recommend this. If you need something to put you to sleep, this is about as good as Zequel. I'm going to give the rhythm section a 1.5 out of 5. The acting is weak, the story sucks, the direction is very unappealing, and overall to me was just an absolute mess. I'm really disappointed by this one. I was kind of hoping it would be a surprise, but instead, this January really proved to be quite a January. But what did you guys think of the rhythm section? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. Like it, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video.